Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another matchup of the LA Sevens. Now, there's only actually 3 games left of this competition. We've had some weird weather. We've had a lot of excitement. This matchup, I think it should be a very awesome one. Samoa taking on Great Britain. These two sides have not met for a while on the Sevens circuit. Great Britain had a pretty good tournament overall. And Samoa coming off a massive win up against the South Africans. I believe their biggest ever win up against the Blitzboks. They'll be looking to continue that momentum into this game up against Team GB. Looking through at Samoa's starting lineup, it will be Va'a, Apelo Maleko, Motu Opitai, Taunuu, Naulivaya, Paul Eti Slater, Malani Matavao, Fa'afoi Falaniko, and Owen Nue. Then for Great Britain, Ross McCann, Jamie Barden, Api Bavadra, Freddie Roddick, I should say, Kalen Barreto, Will Homer, and Nathan Greenwood. Now, the thing is, this game, it may not seem like it's really for that much. It's 5th place, which is actually pretty decent on the 7th circuit. But more than that, it's for those extra couple points that you can get on the World 7 circuit, which could help a side possibly finish a little bit higher. Let's go, Uso. There's Osangi there. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Like I mentioned, Samoa, their last win, 45 points to 5 over South Africa. The same South Africa that are sitting in second at the moment above the Samoans on the overall standings. So that's a sign of things to come for the Samoans in this game and continuation maybe of the next week's competition. Be pretty handy indeed. I'm here for the hot guys is a sign I've just read on a sign. I'm really glad she didn't hand that to the child though, because the child was right next to her, kind of holding on to the corner, but it is going to be kicked off. Samoa putting pressure on in the breakdown straight away. Team GB working it out of their own 22, though. Big Will Homer runs hard. By Big Will Homer, I mean Big Match Will Homer. He does very well when the pressure is on. Another offload. Looks like Barden's going to find himself getting forced backwards by the physicality of Samoa, and they win the early penalty. Motu Opitai takes the quick tap. Brian Lima was mentioning in the post-match interview after their game up against South Africa, one moment, Va'apelo Maleko is 2 meters out from the line and Samoa have scored. What I was going to say is Samoa in their post-match interview, Brian Lima was saying they are more than ever concentrated on possession. Their game up against Argentina, they had minimal, maybe around 20, 25%. Their next game up against South Africa, they had a majority of it. So they've worked out how important it is to get your hands on the ball. It's not very often a side with less possession in a game of sevens does end up victorious. But Samoa doing well. The step from Va'apelo Maleko, finding the offload on the outside to Paul Scanlon. And the Samoan strike first. Yay, says Cat. And there as well. They have got a very strong bench. Paul Scanlon, Volvas Afasua, Letufea, Letiru, going to get another opportunity. And then BJ Lima, another guy was recently added in for the Samoans. It's an unsuccessful kick from Malani Matavao, though it was a very tough one right near the touchline. The first 2 minutes for the Samoan side. They kick long. Nicely taken near the touchline by Bavadra. Almost had his pants pulled down by his teammate in the end. That would have been an unfortunate one, but a friendly fire. Barden now plays halfback. Goes across to Kalen Barreto, now working this across their backline well. I see Alex Davis isn't in the starting lineup. Instead, they have opted for Ross McCann as that option, forced into touch. Brilliant power being shown. And Nathan Greenwood thrown out, taken short by Samoa. Malani Matavao will score. And at the moment, Samoa, ever since that game up against Argentina, they've just turned it up to 150% in all of their contests. Makes you wonder how strong they are going to be next week if they do start with a strong group stage. But Malani Matavao scores his 2nd try since returning to the 7th circuit, or his 2nd try anyway of this match. You can see in the background, Va'apelo Maleko was like, even though you look like you're going to score it, you want to pass, I'm right here, because he loves scoring tries. Currently sitting on 26 this year of the World Series. That is going to be going over as well. It makes the score 12-0 in favor of the Samoans. But yeah, at the moment, at the top of the list, it is Akulio Rokalisoa. He's got 28 on the 7 circuit compared to, like I mentioned, 26 for Va'apelomaleko. Talking to the Great Britain assistant coach, he's saying this is the furthest that they've got in the competition this year, so they're happy enough with this, and they're hoping to build on it for next week. And tell you what, someone who didn't do too well in LA, surprisingly, was the USA. They actually were playing off for about 13th place. Oh, dropped from Malani Matavao. You can see the frustration on his face. He had hung on to that, perhaps a backline movement. Would have been just around the corner. The scoreboard's a little bit slow updating, but it is currently sitting 12 points to nil in favour of the Samoans. They're just showing Will Homer there. Someone for Great Britain's going to have to step up in the next 3 minutes of this first half and make the difference. The way it currently sits, it's starting to drift a little bit further behind. Ball fed in by Burrito. Now off to Will Homer. Trying to pierce on the outside. He did have Nathan Greenwood with him, but instead decides to go to ground. Samoa, they're just swarming like sharks to blood at the moment. Now, it's going to be Homer. Wide cutout pass, advantage over for Great Britain. Ross McCann off to Bavadra. He's been spiked on his head there. That was an unorthodox way of landing. Homer back now. So it will be Burrito. Spins. Hard in the tackle. Brilliant offload, though. Freddie Roddick up the middle, 22 metres out. Should have possibly offloaded rather than trying to get back to his feet and go again. Will Homer goes off to Bavadra again. Dragged down by Paul Etty Slater. Now Homer looking to the short side. Another offload here. Up to Freddie Roddick. Falaniko makes that tackle. I don't think Samoa have missed too many throughout this match as of yet. Bavadra goes to Homer. Ross McCann, big fend. Apelo Maleko drags him down again. And Samoa, I think they almost, they had a hand on the ball there, but not quite enough for the referee to make the decision. Bavadra crashes at Falaniko. Going to be the advantage because of the player not being able to roll away quick enough. Great Britain take the quick tap. And now they have to make sure they're back 10. Roddick goes in. And Samoa concede for the first time of this contest. It took 6 minutes for GB to get through. A little silly disciplinary error from Samoa. And taking the quick tap, Samoans had to retreat far enough for that 10 metres. And in the end, Falaniko just not quite able to stop Freddie Roddick from how close to the line that he was. Now Roddick, he will be in charge of the kicking. It's gone over. Makes the score now 12 points to 7. And I should mention the next match that is going to be taking place is the exciting one, the semi-final. Well, sorry, not the semi-final, the bronze final, I should say, between Fiji and the Australians. Smart from Team GB. Caught Samoa napping there, and they did only kick at the 10 metres at Grubbert, and GB retained up until they gave away the penalty for not releasing. So they're doing a lot right in this game, Great Britain. But now Samoa decide they will go quickly, and they'll be able to run in the try. It's Va'apelomaleko. Who else would it be? That will be another try. We'll go like this and like this. There we go. Hopefully that helps the scoreboard update just that little bit quicker. Va'apelomaleko, the speed that that man possesses, if you give him space, he's gone. I don't think we've seen him caught too many times at all. That will now be halftime in this fixture. The kick is successful, so the score now sitting 19, in fact, points to 5 at this point of the contest. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I mentioned, we are going to have plenty more live streams coming for the Sevens next week, but also a few more coming up a little bit later on in the day as well. We'll go like that, and that. And that as well. Is that going to start updating? No. One moment. We'll move it again. We'll get the mouse in the right place. And it should start doing it. That. And that. And that. And now. No, okay, never mind. Still sitting 3 tries for the Samoans. They made 14 tackles, only missing one. I believe that is the best that a side has had defensive wise. It's interesting though that Team GB have only had to make one tackle. They haven't missed any. It just shows how strong Samoa have been when they've been in open space, not even allowing Great Britain to get close to them. We've seen more carries though from Great Britain. 19 passes completed compared to the 3 of Samoa. So I guess it's just a case of one side's been clinical, the other hasn't been too bad, but they just haven't quite been on that same level as the opposition. Our second half just about to get underway. It will be Great Britain. Will be kicking this one off. Ryan Lima. Sure, he's a little bit more impressed with that first half than some of the earlier contests, such as the one up against Argentina. And to be fair, though, we're unlucky to lose that one, Samoa. 18 minutes away from Fiji versus Australia, the bronze medal final, and then 48 minutes away from New Zealand versus Argentina. Nicely taken by Milani Matavao, lifted up by Noelia Vaya. The ball bounced free. Tackle made. Say that Great Britain had a little bit of something to do with that. The penalty goes against them. Now Milani Matavao will be kicking this one into touch. Decent kick in the end as well from Matavao, but he got lifted extremely high by Naulivai, and he just left him hanging up there long enough be able to take it, land him safely. It's good to see that that hardly ever goes wrong when a player is hoisted in the air. Remember that classic clip, I believe it was of the Beast, South African prop, actually ended up holding, was it Malcolm Marx who ended up holding Eben Etzebeth upside down for quite a long time? Oh, we'll go like that. Here we go. And now kick and chase from the Samoans. Still 6 minutes remaining. So Great Britain, they have got time to try and get back into this contest, but they will have to do it relatively soon. Ross McCann, few extra meters. Samoa trying to counter ruck. Doesn't work for them that time. Now off to the right-hand side. The youngster, Nathan Greenwood, pins the ears back. Nice pass off to Bavadra. Inside border, Barreto, who was lined up by Milani Matavao. Another offload to Freddie Roddick. Gets it away now into the midfield. Nice work from Jamie Barden. Great shot from Va'a Pilomaleko. Just hits him in the midsection. Bavadra just manages to retain for Team GB. Quick ball. The pass is good, they've said. It's very flat, but Ross McCann steps. Milani Matavao drags him down, looking for the offload option. They do find it to Will Homer, and he scores the try for Great Britain. This game is far from over at this point. Homer's second try of the LA Sevens. I mentioned how he normally will step up in a big match. That, for me, was probably forward, to be honest. But they did continue on. Great Britain were able to score after that pass had taken place. Now it makes the score that little bit closer. 19 points to the 12. A kick to come for Great Britain here. See if they are successful in their ventures. And no, actually missed the easier kick out of the two. Managed to absolutely nail one that was near the touchline, but that one didn't quite come off the boot the same, leaving a 7-point margin between these two sides. Still enough that a converted try would take us to golden point time. They do have to find a winner of this contest. It is the fifth place playoff game. Barreto does decide against going one way, kicks the other, but it doesn't go the 10. Now the free kick for Samoa. I wouldn't be surprised if Samoa go for the scrum here. Just to lure in a couple more. Yep. Pilamari goes straight away. It went like that. That means scrum. Seems like a sub's being made. That's going to be Paul Scanlon on the field for Paul Etty Slater, who's had a relatively quiet game in this one, but a very handy player to have out there. I should mention that because South Africa lost to Samoa, they do not have another game taking place, and the same to be said about Ireland not having another game as they did lose to Great Britain a little bit earlier on. But now Paul Scanlon gave it off to Falaniko, who has dropped the ball, unfortunately, for Samoa. Now the scrum feed for Great Britain. Still another 3.5 minutes left. That is plenty of time Possibly see a couple more tries scored. Team GB, you think if they concede another against the Samoans, that would almost seal the deal for the men in the blue. Now, Samoa trying to defend the set play. GB are throwing at them. Wide pass. I believe that was actually, who was that? I want to say that was Waddleton, but I could be wrong. It might have actually ended up being Freddie Roddick again with the ball. Okay. There was a foot in touch. So it will now be, actually, they've gone back and they've said that it is a knock on against Samoa. So, oh no, sorry, knock on against Great Britain. That was actually called by the assistant referee on the touchline. Now Samoa is going to have themselves a scrum. And this was the quarterfinal that I wanted. Be interesting to see who wins it, says Thomas Neal. And that's the thing. If Samoa had lost to New Zealand, this would have been their quarterfinal opponent. So you wonder, how this match would have gone at that stage of the comp. Oh, and Nui breaking the line. One thing I can say for sure is Samoa are looking like they're going to have some good form heading into next week's Sevens competition, which we are also going to be covering. Nice pass off to Naulivaya, tackled by Bavadra, the big man. Nice pass now again out to Va'ao Pilomaleko. The ball is loose, but slightly knocked on. Great Britain now. Again, we find ourselves with a scrum. Few too many handling errors probably in this game for both teams' liking. We've had about, I'd say, 6 scrums, somewhere around there. Not maybe a couple less, but certainly keep them busy out there. The referee keeping an eye on these front rows going head to head. You can see the frustration from Apelo Maleko, though, when he put that ball down. Tries off a set piece is actually 20% of the time for GB, the try options. Homer puts the ball in. Just manages to get it back out of the scrum. Inside ball to Robbie Ferguson. A little bit of a different tactic from Great Britain. So that they do need to try and find those extra gaps, and luring in the Samoan defense will be a great start. You got to try and get it in a 2-on-1. That ball was slapped down illegally. Samoa, Pilo Maleko, he is gone for the rest of the game and actually the rest of the Sevens competition now, seeing as it is the final match. Now that just gives Great Britain half a slither of a chance now. Go Samoa, says Viniana. That ball slapped down by Pilomaleko means that Samoa will be playing with 6 for the rest of this contest. Great Britain only down by 1 converted try. Their head in the hands for Pilomaleko. He knows that was a mistake. And an experienced player like himself and a skilled player like himself, he just knows that wasn't a good idea to do at this point of the game. It looks like there is going to be another change made. Max McFarland out there on the field now for Team GB. And poor discipline, especially from a team leader, says Thomas Neal. True. It's one that he certainly couldn't afford to give away. And now with the last 50 seconds, we're about to find out whether it's going to cost the Samoans or not. Will Homer, wide cutout pass, now to Max McFarland. Tackled by Scanlon, might have been a little bit high. Rode up around the shoulders, but they say play on. Ross McCann. In fact, it is going to be instead the number 15, Tom Emery, almost through. 30 seconds left in the matchup and still their man advantage. Homer considered going short side, but there was a Samoan lurking. Now again, round the side of the breakdown from Max McFarland. Out wide, here comes the big man, Api Bavadra. Taken down once again. 30 meters out from the line. GB having numbers. They've got less men on the field here, Samoa. It would be strategic from Great Britain to go wide. 3 seconds remaining. Converted try would mean that we go to extra time in this contest to work out who is finishing in 5th. But now Great Britain trying to carve up the middle. It was Max McFarland. Was there a clear release from Samoa? It is still going to be on the side of Great Britain. Another offload from Ferguson. Homer, wide cutout pass, looking for the corner. Great step from the youngster. And it's going to be the try for Jamie Barton. If this is converted, we go to golden point time. If not, then the Samoans do win this contest. That's going to be heavily on the shoulders of Apelo Maleko. That little mistake, lapse of judgment now means that GB have a chance to draw this game. It's going to be a tough kick. Don't get me wrong. He's missed the simpler kick out of the two, which means he's more likely to get this over than the other. He strikes it. It's coming back round. It's gone over. And that is going to make the score at the end of this contest 19-19. And because of that, that means the game is not over yet. We're going to golden point time, ladies and gentlemen, for this fifth place playoff game. I'm just going to quickly check to see when that next live stream was scheduled for, just because I know that there might be an overlap starting to form. It was supposed to start at 1:55. We'll assume that it's still going to be finished by then, but they have just got a few little short moments here. Do Samoa have to play golden point with 6? They do for a start, I believe. Although I think, actually, no, they might be back to 7 because Va'apilo Maleko's time has finished, I believe. Okay, heads or tails? Called heads for the Samoan. Okay, Great Britain won the toss and they want to receive the ball. Come on, Samoa, says Viniana. I've noticed that my live chat on my computer is actually not working at the moment, so it's good that I've got my phone here just to make sure that the messages are still coming through. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. The scoreboard will soon update and say 19 points to 19. Golden point time. You don't even need to get yourself a try here. Just any form of point will win the contest. Now, to be receiving for Great Britain, it's strategic, but it could also cost them. She's a very happy Samoan supporter, but not really, because Samoa currently find themselves in golden point. Man's still having a dance. I think he's almost at every Sevens leg. Just follows them around no matter where they go and supports them every chance he gets. Looking like some tired bodies out there on the field, though. Big opportunity. It will be now Fa'afoi Falaniko. There's two options here for Samoa. You either kick this one as deep as you can, or you go for the short kickoff and look to retain. I believe the best option in golden point time is to go for the long kickoff. But we'll wait and see. Fa'afoi Falaniko bouncing the ball. Of course, the last thing you want to do is put the ball into touch, though. What do? They kick off high. They kick off short. And it's just gone out. Va'apilo Maleko, he got a hand to it, but it did end up going into touch. Okay, so it is going to be just play on by the sounds of it. The line out for Team GB. Long kickoff, especially in the wet weather, says Thomas Neal. Yeah, it was surprising that they went short, to be honest, but tactics might have been a little bit off for the Samoans just at that moment. Now Great Britain, just outside of their 22. This is about where they would have ended up if they had gone with a short kickoff. Now it's going to be a foot race. Got to try and stop the man, and have done brilliantly to stop Tom Emery on the Samoan 22. Now Great Britain across to Robbie Ferguson. Step in the midfield. This is looking good. Ethan Waddleton gets the chance now. Alex Davis goes out wide to Emery, who wasn't quite able to gather the ball, and it goes into touch, and the play continues. This is certainly something to get people hyped up before we get into the final matchups between Fiji and Australia for bronze and the Kiwis and the Pumas for the gold. Yeah, just a little bit out of his reach. If he had dove for it, he would have got it. A few, says Thomas. Now, Letufia. Change being made. Now, Olivia now making his way out onto the field for the Samoans. Now, Letufia throws the ball in, stolen by GB. You just feel the momentum. That was a foot trip by Va'apilo Maleko there. Probably pretty lucky that the ref didn't quite see that one. Now, Samoa rushing at Alex Davis, who's been driven down. Counter-ruck from the Samoans, looking to get the ball. Motu Opitai wins it cleanly. Now Paul Scanlon, another big fend, breaking through. Ball on the outside to the fresh man. And Olivia going round. Bavadra, inside ball. They've got numbers. Selfish from Letufia. Got excited, thought he was going to get the glory, and he blew the try opportunity. But instead, it could be Va'apilo Maleko. They just need to get this one more, and Fa'afoi Falaniko will score the try for Samoa. They get there in the end, but they made hard work of it. We'll end up winning this contest 24 points to 19. The crowd are erupting after that one. Who is that man? That was a random Samoan supporter who's ended up on the field. Okay, he's kind of streaking, but he's not streaking type thing. He's got his shirt off, which I think is the case for a majority of the Samoan supporters in attendance. And he's got the Samoan flag, so they have to try and stop him. I think he's just going over meeting all the players in the process. But nonetheless, that is going to be the end of the match. 24 points to 19, a win for the Samoans. The next matchup is just around the corner. That is Fiji versus Australia, and we will be covering that one on the channel as well. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all in the next couple of minutes.